Hello everyone and welcome back. My name is Brooke and today we're talking all about how I edit my Instagram photos. So we're gonna get right on into it. I haven't filmed one of these videos in a while. I have filmed them before, but not in a very long time. And if you haven't already, make sure you go check out my Instagram because I do post quite a bit, on there. So make sure you go check that out. But here it is right here. It is at Part of Brooke's World. If you haven't already gone and followed me, I post tons of photos on there, reels, all that kind of stuff. I'm always on my stories, so make sure you stay up to date with that. There have been 3 different ways recently that I have edited my Instagram photos. I'm going to show you all of them today, how to get my presets, like all that kind of stuff. I'm going to show that to you all. So I do use Lightroom and I do have a paid subscription to Lightroom because I have a paid subscription to Adobe programs in general, like Adobe Creative Cloud. I pay a monthly subscription, which Lightroom is included on that, which is why I use Lightroom. I have never actually had the unpaid version of Lightroom since I've just always had the subscription, so I'm not sure which of what I use is paid and which of what I use is part of the free version. So I'm really not sure, but Lightroom is a really great professional photo editing app. So if you are interested in photo editing or Instagram editing whatsoever, I highly recommend Lightroom. It's gonna be your best bet for editing photos for sure. So we are gonna do a screen recording in 3, 2, 1 now. And here's my home screen here. As you can see, it is 28 degrees out today. I'm loving it. It's amazing. I was just outside. It's like already almost 6 o'clock, so I came in now, but today has just been absolutely gorgeous. But the first thing we're gonna do is head into my Lightroom mobile app. So I have that photo open there because I did just recently edit that for my podcast. But we are gonna go find some more recent photos, I think, that we're gonna edit. So I don't even know, I did not pre-plan in advance which ones I wanna edit. So we are figuring that out on the spot. I literally, as you can see from the top, I have 5,000 photos in my little feed. So there's a lot we can choose from here. A lot. But we're definitely gonna do Disney photos at the very least because, I mean, I feel like that's the best. So I think we're gonna start with this photo at Caribbean Beach because I love this photo at Caribbean Beach. So I'm just gonna reset everything about it. So here what you're looking at right now is the original photo as it was originally, like how it was taken. My mom took it for me, so that is just how it looks, and that's me posing at Caribbean Beach almost a year ago. It was last May I did my big resorts vacation. That's when this photo was taken on. So I do have my own presets, and the preset that I'm going to use for this one is called Pop to the Top, is what I called it. And so that's what it looks like there when you just paste preset on. But all presets, no matter what preset you're going to be using, is going to have a couple modifications to it. And this Pop to the Top preset I love because it's so bright and colorful. This one here, just looking at it, I'm like, it is a little bit yellow toned. So I'm just going to click on color and turn it to the blue a little bit. And that's where you're gonna get that really bright, beautiful colors. I do think the grass is still a little bit yellow, so I'm just gonna go into mix, into the greens, and then turn that just a little bit more green. And I think maybe we have too much blue now because we did shift that, so we'll just go right ahead and do that. Something I also sometimes like to play with is the detail. I'll turn up the sharpening a little bit if I want it more crisp of a photo. In the effects, I'll play with the dehaze a little bit. So as you can see, when you turn it up, there's just like kind of more shadows, you could say. And when you turn it down, it just turns it like super white. So sometimes, recently I've been liking it turned up a little more. That's a little too much. But just turned up that like little bit more, I think really adds to it. And then something else I've been doing recently with all my photos, no matter how I edit it, is I add a little bit of a vignette, but I add it so it's white a little bit. And just that little honestly, just like the slightest bit. And then sometimes I play with the clarity too. I don't do this all the time, but it really depends on the photo. If I find the photos looking kind of grainy, I'll turn down the clarity. So as you can see, like turning the clarity down blurs it. If you just turn the clarity down slightly, it kind of blurs that imperfection of if the photo has a little bit of a grainy quality to it. Or if you turn it up slightly, it just makes things a little darker. So if you have a photo where the lighting is kind of weird in it, you can play a lot with the clarity there, I find, to fix all of that. Same with the texture here too. This texture is at -9 right now, but we turn it up, it's going to make everything a lot more prominent. We turn it down, it's going to blur everything a little bit more. So I like that little bit of a blurring effect on mine. Very slight effect to it. And then from there, we're just going to crop it. So Instagram likes 4x5 images. So we're just going to do that and it's good to go. Or of course we could also make it a square if we wanted to. And yeah, like that. I don't really like that though, so I think the 5x4 is definitely going to be the way to go for this one. And there we go. That one is all edited. So this photo here is a photo that I took of me at Port Orleans Riverside during my Disney program last summer, and it is of me at the fountain. I did take this photo myself with my little tripod, which is why the angle isn't perfect and it doesn't look that good in my opinion. When you're just looking at it, it's out of center, all of that stuff, it's not the best. So this one here, I'm gonna crop it first because I feel like I can't really look at it properly if it's not cropped. So that is one that I did crop, but this one has not been cropped or anything done with it yet. So I'm gonna go for a square on this one. I'm gonna center myself, but I also want that little fountain to be centered so you can see kind of like off to the side exactly how much is cut off there. So I'm gonna do the same. I'm gonna straighten it out a bit because I want that bottom. I'm actually gonna move the crop down until I can straighten that bottom line with it. So do you see how I'm getting the concrete to kind of, or try my best to get the concrete to line up with the bottom there? That's what I'm gonna do, and then crop it there. And overall, I think that angle of it and that crop looks a lot better. We might still fix it. I could go in a little bit more with it if I wanted to. In this case, I wouldn't have had to like twist it at all because I'm cutting off the bottom of the fountain there. That's another option too, but I don't like that as much. So I think we're just gonna keep it like that. And presets, I don't know which one I want to use for this one. So this is one of the ones I've been using recently that I have. And then the other one is this one here. This one here I like to use for other photos though. I think there's some good ones with that. So we're just gonna go into the Bali Blue preset, which is one that I found on Pinterest and then modified it a little bit to fit my photos better. So we will go through in a moment everything I used to make that. This, I still don't like the crop of this photo. It's still kind of messing with me. So I'm thinking almost, if I don't like how something looks straight, I will just turn it more so it looks more like it was purposely turned, because if you can't make it look good straight, you make it look good turned kind of thing. So something like that, for example, could look kind of cool, especially if you like move it down a bit. That could be kind of cool. I'm gonna move that crop in again. Yeah, that looks kind of cool, I think. It definitely has like a little bit of an edge to it. It's a little bit more dynamic. And so what I'm gonna do here first off, I'm gonna turn my phone brightness up. I'm gonna go in with my light and turn my exposure up a little bit more. I think this just adds to almost the film-like quality that this filter does give it, or this preset. So if you're looking here and you're using Lightroom, these are the settings. On this here, we have our color settings. So these are the temperature settings, and I really do like how this photo is a little bit more blue, but obviously you could turn it a little bit more yellow if you want more of a vintagey look. but I do like how it is a little bit cooler toned in this case. I am gonna turn the vibrance up. I really like photos with high vibrance, and turn the saturation up a bit too. The clarity I'm gonna keep the same. The vignette, I'm gonna add that little bit of a white like I have been and told you about. The detail, once again, we're gonna sharpen it a little bit. And I think that's really it. I think that looks really good. So we can see here, this is what it looks like now. And that's kind of what it looked like before. The lighting was pretty good on this photo, so I will say it does work really, really well in that case for sure, which is why this filter I think looks so good. But I've done a lot of photos with this filter. I was using this around Christmas time and winter time. I think this is a really good cool tone filter, which is why I liked using it for more of the winter season, and I think I will transition into using it. It's also the filter I'm currently using for all of my podcast stuff. For the final photo, I think we're gonna choose one that needs a little bit more work done to it. I think we're gonna do one of these ones where it's like a sunset-y kind of background. This is from the Fantasmic media preview when Fantasmic first came back, so we are just going to reset it. This was the photo that Ariane took of me in front of Tower of Terror. This is what it looks like as is, and there is a lot going on with this, but the first thing I'm going to do is apply the preset, and the preset I'm going to apply is Loving Him is Red. I didn't mention before, but my presets Pop to the Top and Loving Him Was Red are going to be, did I say is red before? Loving Him Was Red are available on my Etsy shop for like $3 or something. They're really, really cheap, so if you do want to, you know, make your photos look like mine, definitely check them out. I put a lot of time and a lot of work into creating them, so if you're interested in that, definitely do it. But Lightroom is also a really great app to be able to make your own presets, create your own layouts, and really play with photos how you want to. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is apply that Loving Him Was Red preset to the photo, because I think that just changes the whole landscape of the photo. Now this preset on other photos with like really bright lighting, it's gonna look very vibrant teal and vibrant red, which I'll have some examples of here. But with this photo specifically, the lighting is a little funky. It's like dusk, the sun's setting, it's not bright anymore, it's pretty clouded over there. But this preset also does work with that photo, or this photo, as you can see. So the first thing we're gonna do once the preset's on is we are gonna crop it to that 4:5 ratio. We're gonna zoom a little bit because I'm not fond of how my leg is there. You can see my biker shorts in that underneath too, so we're just going to, I think we're actually gonna do a 1:1 crop there maybe. Make sure the tower's in there. Actually, we'll do a bit of a custom. Do a 4:5, shrink it. And then I'm gonna put custom, make it a little wider. You know what, I know my biker shorts are showing, which is not my favorite, but I think we're just gonna leave them in because it's not that bad. However, I don't like that line right there on the ground, so we're just gonna make sure it is above that line. And with this one, I think we are just gonna have me off to the side a little bit more. Sure, why not? Like honestly, there's better photos I have with the composition wise with this, but we're going for like lighting composition wise. We can get into a whole other thing, to be honest. This isn't, I would have chosen, this is one of the photos I chose to post, so this is one I would have chose to post in like a 9:16 format. That's another one I chose to post that I had cropped a lot better, but for right now's sake, we're just gonna leave this here. Lighting, first off, is gonna go up, contrast is gonna go down a little bit, and shadows are gonna come down. Color, we're gonna keep the color how it is for now, make it a little bit more vibrant, and then we're gonna go into the reds and turn the saturation up. And then go to effects turn the clarity up a little bit, turn the texture down because we did crop this a little bit, and make that vignette a little white. So this is the part that I really like about Lightroom, where you can go masking. So I went into masking, I'm gonna hit the plus button and click select subject, and it should select me. There we go. I'm gonna hit this button on the left here to inverse it, so it's selecting the background. I'm gonna go back to light, and I'm going to take down the exposure a little bit to make it a little bit darker, to make me pop out from the background a little bit. Take that contrast, move it down even more. Highlights, I'm gonna make them brighter, I think, for the background. Shadows a little darker. And then going into color, the reason I won't turn the red up, for example, in color when it's just like normal, is because then it'll turn my skin more red. But when I have it like this, it doesn't let you pick individual colors, but just turning the saturation up in the background is gonna make a really big difference, and turning it all the way up is, I mean, it's fine. And then if I go into effects and take the clarity and turn it down, it's once again gonna make me pop. If you go too far, it's gonna start looking weird in the background, but if you go down just a little bit, it's gonna blur those people in the background a little bit. Same with texture, it's just kind of gonna blur them out of the background a little bit. And then the dehaze, I'm gonna turn that down a little bit, and it just makes me pop out from the background. Detail, sharpness, we can even go down with if we want. See, and that just like blurs out that background even more. If you do it too much though, once again, it's gonna look very, very unnatural, obvious, very like clean cut, and you don't want that. You want it to very much flow in this sense. So just by turning it down a little bit, we can see the difference between how it looks in the background versus how I look in the foregrounds there. Hit the check mark. And I think I want this photo a little more yellow actually, which I don't normally do, but in this case I am going to, because it just makes it look a little bit warmer. There we go. I'm gonna go into my mix, play with my teals a little bit. As we know, I love my teals. Take my blues, make them a little more teal, turn up the saturation there a little bit. My yellow even we're going to turn up, and my red, I think we're going to change the luminance so it's a little darker. And there you go, so you can see the difference. I'm going to take that away. So that was what the original photo that was taken looks like. Take that preset, apply it, move the settings slightly, and you're going to get something that looks like this. So I always choose one of these photo presets to make my photos with. I usually do it in some sort of sequence, so right now I'm currently on the Loving Him is Red preset, but as it comes more summer, I'm probably going to move more into that Pop to the Top preset because it works pretty much with everything in Walt Disney World, and Loving Him is Red works quite literally with everything. Other than that, I have an entire series I made a couple of years ago all about different photo spots in Disney. Unfortunately, not all these spots are here anymore because this series is a little outdated, but I literally go through every single theme park and show you all the different awesome photo spots. So make sure you check that out if you're really interested in Disney photo spots. So thank you so much for watching. Everything, all my Etsy presets and that will be linked down below if you wanted to check those out. But like I said, you don't need to purchase my Lightroom presets or any Lightroom presets to have good photos or good edited photos. Definitely experiment on the Lightroom app if you have the opportunity to, and I'm sure you'll get the hang of it and be able to make your own unique presets as well. So thank you again so much for watching, and have a magical rest of your day.